I came to pick up my daughter from class and saw the HOA president's son grab her teacher by the throat, demanding she change his grade. What he didn't know was that this calm woman had 22 years of military training, and in the next second, his mother's empire would start to crumble. I was just there to pick up my daughter, Emma, from her college IT class, coffee in hand, mind half asleep from work. Then it happened. Through the glass door, I saw Tyler Benson, Karen's son from our HOA, slam his hand around Ms. Lawson's throat. His face burned red with rage. "Change my grade," he yelled. "Make me the top student, or I'll make you regret it." My stomach twisted. Time stopped. Ms. Lawson didn't flinch. Her calm was terrifying. 22 years of military discipline flashed in her eyes. She looked like a soldier again. Before anyone could react, she spun his arm, using his own weight to slam him to the floor. The class gasped. Tyler screamed, "You'll pay for this." But she just stood over him, breathing steady, voice like iron. "No, son. You just failed your biggest test." The room froze. Phones were recording. Karen's empire was about to crumble, and she didn't even know it yet. Before we go on, please, where are you watching from and what time is it right now? I want to see how many families, parents, and neighbors are feeling this story across the country tonight. Your comment helps this message reach more people who've faced unfair HOA rules too. Sirens wailed outside. Students whispered. My daughter grabbed my arm, trembling. And in that instant, I knew this wasn't just a classroom fight. It was war between truth and privilege. The war I'd watched Karen win in our neighborhood for years was about to end right there on that tile floor. Back in our HOA, everyone knew Karen Benson. Designer clothes, fake smile, endless rules. She fined people for mailbox paint and dog leashes. Her son, Tyler, was her shadow, spoiled, loud, untouchable. I'd seen him curse at landscapers and brag about how Mom owns the block. So when my daughter told me Ms. Lawson was his teacher, I laughed. Poor woman, I said. She doesn't know who she's dealing with. But Ms. Lawson wasn't ordinary. She was quiet, composed, and carried herself like someone who'd survived real storms. Her 22 years in the army weren't visible until you looked at her eyes, steady, calculating, unreadable. Emma admired her. Said Ms. Lawson pushed students to be accountable. No excuses. Tyler hated that more than anything. He failed a project, blamed her, and soon Karen started her usual campaign: emails, threats, and phone calls to the dean. But Ms. Lawson didn't break. She told Karen flatly, "Grades aren't for sale, ma'am." That line spread through the campus like wildfire. It was the first time someone had ever told Karen, no. And when a woman like Karen loses control, she doesn't stop. She sends her son to finish what she couldn't. The morning before the assault, Ms. Lawson parked beside me. She nodded politely. "Good morning, sir." Her tone calm, her eyes alert. I'd heard rumors of Karen's threats. Everyone had. She wanted Ms. Lawson fired, discredited, erased from the program. Tyler strutted through the halls like a king. My daughter whispered, "Dad, he scares everyone." The teachers avoided him. The administration bowed to Karen's complaints. Only Ms. Lawson stood her ground. That day, she looked tired but ready. "If you stay silent," she once told Emma, "bullies win by default." When I walked into the campus that afternoon, something in the air felt wrong. Tension thick, like a storm waiting to explode. I saw Tyler pacing near the IT lab, muttering under his breath. His fists clenched. His mother's SUV idled outside. I should have stopped him. Almost did. But before I could move, he disappeared inside the classroom. Seconds later came the scream. Then the crash. Then the moment that changed everything forever. By the time I reached the door, chaos had already replaced silence. Tyler's hand was around her neck when I saw them. Students frozen, phones raised. He was shaking with fury, eyes wild and desperate. "Change my grade," he bellowed. "You'll make me best student or I'll end your career." His words cut through the hum of computers. Ms. Lawson's face didn't change. Controlled. Her voice steady. "You're about to learn consequences, son." He squeezed harder. My instincts screamed to run in, But before I could, she moved. One motion, fluid, precise, deadly. She broke his grip, twisted his arm, and dropped him with a veteran's technique. The thud echoed through the room like thunder. He groaned, face twisted in pain and disbelief. She stood above him, hands still raised, but not to strike. To stop him. "Lesson over," she said coldly. "Actions have results." Every student watched in silence, realizing this wasn't a normal teacher. The door burst open. Karen stormed in, screaming, "You attacked my son." Ms. Lawson didn't even turn. He attacked himself with his own arrogance. Cops arrived minutes later. The evidence was clear. Still, I knew Karen's war wasn't over. This was just the first battle. That evening, news vans lined the street. Karen had already rewritten history. "Teacher assaults student," headlines blared. Social media burned with her version, Ms. Lawson as a violent, bitter veteran, taking revenge on her students. The truth was buried under Karen's influence and money. The school suspended Ms. Lawson pending investigation. I couldn't stay silent. I'd seen it all with my own eyes. I recorded part of it too, enough to prove who the aggressor was. But Karen was powerful. She threatened lawsuits, gathered her HOA allies, and convinced the board to review all teachers' professionalism. Ms. Lawson didn't crumble. She told reporters, "I've faced worse in war zones. This is just noise." Tyler limped in interviews, pretending to be traumatized. Karen wept beside him for the cameras. Yet behind their performance, I saw fear. They knew there was footage out there that could end them. I promised Emma I'd help reveal the truth, no matter what it cost. And trust me, it cost plenty. Weeks later, the courtroom overflowed. Karen arrived dressed in victory, pearls shining, sun beside her like a puppet. Ms. Lawson entered silently, wearing her service pin. She looked unbreakable. Karen's lawyer started the circus, calling her unstable, traumatized, violent. I clenched my fists behind the benches. Then the defense played my video. The moment Tyler grabbed her throat. The screams. The takedown. Silence filled the courtroom. Even the judge's jaw tightened. Karen gasped, "That's edited," but the timestamps didn't lie. The judge turned to Ms. Lawson. "You showed restraint most couldn't." He dismissed the case instantly, ordering Tyler to face assault charges. Karen shouted, "You'll regret this." Ms. Lawson turned, voice low but strong. "Ma'am, I've faced tanks. You're just noise." That line echoed across the room. Outside, reporters crowded her for interviews. She didn't smile, just saluted the flag flying above the courthouse. Karen couldn't accept defeat. She turned her fury on everyone near her. Fines, threats, fake violations, our HOA became her weapon again. She even targeted me for recording without permission. I laughed. Freedom of the press, Karen. But she didn't stop there. She sent anonymous complaints about Ms. Lawson's home, noise, lawn, trash cans, anything she could invent. Ms. Lawson fought back the only way she knew, strategically. She gathered proof, witnesses, and caught Karen violating her own HOA bylaws. At the next meeting, she exposed Karen's harassment with perfect evidence. The board voted unanimously to remove her as president. She went from feared queen to neighborhood disgrace overnight. Tyler watched from the back, eyes hollow, ashamed. Karen screamed, "You all betrayed me." Ms. Lawson replied softly, "No, Karen. You betrayed yourself." The neighborhood erupted in whispers. The tyrant had finally fallen. Months passed. Life returned to normal. Ms. Lawson got her job back. My daughter graduated with honors. Then one rainy afternoon, I saw Tyler standing outside Ms. Lawson's home. He looked thinner, older, humbled. "I came to apologize," he said quietly. She opened the door, expression unreadable. "You came to learn," she answered. He nodded. "I ruined everything because I thought I was untouchable." She handed him a veteran's mentorship brochure. "Discipline isn't punishment, it's preparation." He left with tears in his eyes. For the first time, I believed he might change. Ms. Lawson didn't boast or gloat. She just whispered, Some wars end not in victory, but in understanding. Those words stayed with me. Karen's empire crumbled next. Investigations revealed she'd misused HOA funds. The same court that once pitted her now charged her with fraud. She faced community service, cleaning the same college hallway where her son once attacked Ms. Lawson. Poetic justice. When I saw her scrubbing the floor, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Ms. Lawson passed her once, nodded politely, no hate, no triumph. Karen muttered, "You won." Ms. Lawson replied, "No one wins when pride leads the war." Her grace silenced even her enemies. It's been decades now. My daughter has kids of her own. But every time I drive past that campus, I see Ms. Lawson standing tall in that classroom. The day Tyler grabbed her throat, he thought power meant control. She proved real power means calm, courage, and consequence. Karen's mansion still stands, empty and forgotten, a monument to ego. Ms. Lawson still teaches, shaping minds with quiet strength. And me? I learned that heroes don't always wear medals. Sometimes they carry coffee, walk into chaos, and remind the world what justice looks like. That day wasn't just about grades. It was about truth finally standing up to arrogance.